learning about the UGC space and creating example content for maybe like 5 or 6 days now. But I wanted to come on here and just share what this first week has been like for me, so anyone else who's starting out can learn from the mistakes that I made, the things that I'm learning, and the brands that I'm reaching out to. Okay, first of all, I do think the recommendation to look at a lot of UGC examples before starting is obviously a really good idea. If you go to YouTube, for example, on this platform, search UGC content creator, and then I like to toggle at the top for like the latest, the most recent videos in that, or the top. I like to engage with new creators because I am one, and I want to support them, and I want to see what people are trying, and also I want to see what the high performers are doing as well. I also like to go to the high performers accounts and toggle for their oldest content versus their latest to see how they changed their strategy over time. Okay, let's talk about mistakes next. So some mistakes that I made is like needing to understand the differences between all of the apps and their purpose. So for example, Instagram is very much, at least in the niche that I'm in, with like motherhood, parenting, and products that relate to that in a lot of ways. The aesthetic is so different than TikTok. The way to drive engagement is different than TikTok. So I think really seeing like what are the reels that are performing the highest, what are they looking like? They are often in neutral color schemes. They often are short. They are delivering like a message in written text on screen and expanding on it a bit in the caption. Problem solution style content in every space seems to be like definitely a good idea. And having a really strong hook at the beginning, especially if you're going to do like a talking head video like this one, you want to give people a reason to listen and gain that audience retention. Okay, this is just my assumption based on my week of kind of testing things, but I feel like in my niche, moms are on Instagram during nap time and they're on TikTok and YouTube in the evening. And so I'm seeing the strongest performance posting at those times. I always love when creators share this, and so I'm going to too. Here's how much I made this week as a UGC content creator. $0. So obviously, like I said, I've only been pitching to brands for going on 3 days now. Some people have shared brands' email addresses that have been like out of date, incorrect. People don't work there anymore, and I've heard back from those brands, some of them giving me the right contact, which has been so great. Some emails went unanswered. Some, even after a LinkedIn search of like trying to reverse find out, go to the company's page, look for the employees, see who's listed as their PR or marketing contact, to no avail to find an email. And I'm not going to pay for the apps that tell me them. I'm not there yet. Not feeling that. So, Instagram DMs. Okay, so let me share. Most of my Instagram DMs to brands have gone unread, and a couple of them have been responded to with the appropriate contact, or like the form that they have for influencers to fill out. Okay, one of my favorite tips I learned this week is when pitching, obviously you want to differentiate yourself and you want the email to be opened and read through. And so as early on as possible in my emails, I am sharing like somewhere between 1 and 3 ideas that I have for that specific brand to grow their presence online, increase engagement, drive growth, and particularly my favorite one to talk about is expanding their market share. So I'll say, I have reviewed what your competitors are doing and looked at your own content, and here are a couple ideas that I have. And I do that. I look at what are the competitors doing. I literally chat GPT, who are the competitors for this brand, the top competitors, and I see what things they're doing differently, especially if the competitor has more followers on Instagram than the brand that I'm reaching out to. And so then I think like, what could I do? What could I bring to this space? And a big leverage point for me is just like, I'm a mom with kids who lives in the South and has a pool. And so anything related to products that we're using, like I can share it in a creative way. And I feel like I have something to speak from having a lot going on in my life, and if a product is making it easier, there's definitely a visual that I can put to that. Okay, the brands that I pitched to this week. So I pitched to Outshine Snacks, Hippies, Veggies Made Great, Flav City, what else? Dermablend Professional, Blue Lizard Sunscreen, Synthesis AI Math Tutor, Aquaphor, Cloud Foods, 7 Sundays, 3 Wishes, Good Culture, Larabar, Bugaboo, Native, Everyone for Everybody, Eckers, RX Bar, Your Green Kitchen, Capital Vacations, Urbaxa, Oatly, RX Bar, and Cal AI. I wasn't sure if that was all, but I think that was all. So pretty good for having 3 full days of pitching. Some of those responses were that they aren't, like Hippies was like, we're not taking collabs right now. Oh, and Bugaboo, also heard back from them, they're not taking collabs right now. But 3 Wishes and Flave City, sounds like there would be some potential there. So stay tuned to find out. I can't wait. I'm fully believing for replies, especially early next week. I've done some follow-ups, and the closest I feel like I'm getting to a potential partnership is with 3 Wishes cereal. So fingers crossed, send up some prayers. I know that the hardest part is getting your first brand deal, and then after that you have brand deals to reference that you've had, and so it's a lot easier. If you are just starting out or considering starting out, I cannot encourage you enough just to start, because the potential is so high and the investment is so low, particularly monetarily, but you definitely have to put yourself out there and dedicate time to this and really choose to believe in it. And that's where I'm at. So check back next week for hopefully a report out on landing my first gig. That would be awesome. I can't wait to share more. No gatekeeping. I'm gonna share, like I said, the whole process, any insights that I learn. I'm not gonna make you buy a course. I'm gonna just tell you the brands and give you their emails so you can shoot your shot too. There's enough room out here for all of us.